You're listening to a Frequency Podcast Network production.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Welcome to another day of the week. My name is Brock.
I'm fairly certain this will be Friday, and I'm Dalby.
Yeah, we are on vacation, but another exclusive podcast for you guys here.
The last thing that we want to do is take a whole week off and leave you with nothing. Well, actually, the last thing we want to do is come into work. That's why we took the time off.
I will say I did get some exciting news because we talked about the other day how I'm going to Ohio for the big Ohio State-Indiana game. Very excited. Apparently ESPN Game Day is going to be there.
No.
You know the thing they have with like Pat McAfee and all the guys there?
Oh, dude, you got to paint your face. You probably shouldn't wear a shirt. You got to go all out.
I mean, there's a good chance with the fellas I'm going how many drinks we're going to be having. The tarps may come off. Now, I don't know if you've been watching college football this year. They've started doing the kicking thing. Have you seen that?
Oh, yeah, where McAfee will get someone to try and kick a field goal for some money, right?
He'll get like some students. So obviously we're ineligible, but they'll line it up, and I think the price changes on if someone's missed or whatever, but some kid won like $100,000 earlier this year. Sometimes they're kicking for 25, 50 grand. Like, I mean, you are an experienced field goal kicker now. That's the thing that sucks is like, I feel like after going out with the Queen's University football team, if I got picked out there, I'd be pretty confident in myself.
Oh, I'd be in my own head. I went like 1.5 for 4. I would not be confident.
The pressure is on because I guess if you've never watched Game Day, the way they do it is they've got this whole crowd around. It's almost kind of like when someone's teeing off for a drive in the PGA Tour. They've got the uprights, I think it's 25 yards back.
Yeah.
Some poor college student looking to make his tuition's worth in one kick. And the whole crowd is either like cheering or booing him on.
Depending on what school he's representing.
That's it. Like for the kid who made it earlier this year, sickest Saturday of his life. Like the best day of college ever.
He'll be chasing that dragon well into his 60s.
And then for like all the other kids that have missed the kick. Dude, that's gotta suck to go back to the like. Do you even like? You're watching the game and you're probably like, "Fuck this."
I'd probably go home. Yeah. Honestly, if for thousands of dollars falling through my grasp, I probably don't turn around because one, the crowd around you for the kick, excluding all the people who are watching on TV, just the people that are around you, is a lot of people that are going to point you out to everybody else when you get inside the game.
Yeah, and when you're standing there, it's literally like the EA Sports college football where it's like stadium pulse increases.
Right. Hey, did they have any kind of net or protection for the people who are standing to either side?
No, actually they don't.
So what's to stop you from just line driving it into some freshman's grill?
$50,000, I guess.
Well, I'm not saying you do it on purpose.
Yeah.
But like,
it could happen.
That's the thing. Like, I know from when we went out with Queens and we tried to kick field goals that they do not always go where you want them to go.
Well, that's the thing. Like, even I compared it to the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
I don't know how those guys tee off with crowds around them.
Dude, when I did that 400-some thing, and not everybody was watching because we were teeing off like 5, 6, 20 at a time, right? But even just having a handful of people watching you that are strangers, I am fully willing to blame all my bad drives on that pressure.
Bro, you know what the worst thing in the world is? Is there's a few times in the summer, like I play by myself, whatever. We have weird schedules, so I'll go out and play around, right? And then you catch up on a group, and they're like, you can play through.
Oh, no.
And they all watch you, and you're just like, please have a good drive. Please have a good drive.
What would you say? Is it about 50-50?
No, dude. It's like 75% duff. And then the worst is they're like, take another one. And you're like,
I'm not fucking doing that again. What do you mean take another one?
And you're like, I'm just going to throw my ball.
Right. Yeah. You know what? I'm actually playing a special round of golf today where I don't do the 6th hole. So I'm just going to skip right ahead.
I will say, if you are in a group and you're saying, like, we want to play through, you better have a good fucking drive, though.
You have to earn it.
To have the balls to be like, hey, man, like, we're riding your ass. Like, let's get it going here.
You're too slow. We're better than you. Let us go in front. And then you whack one into the trees. You should have to sit there as now the other group goes again.
I even feel self-conscious at the driving range, man. You're just standing there and you just continue, and it's like it's hard not to lose it there either.
You know, that's why I think I like weird versions of golf. Like I like best ball because it doesn't matter if you have a great shot. Or I like, have you ever gone glow golfing, like night golfing?
Oh yeah.
I love doing that shit because no one has expectations. You're out there in the dark, whacking around glow in the dark balls. Yes, I can see just how bad my shot went, but we're all in the dark. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Or even what I want to try, I would love to try this year, is snow golfing. You ever seen that shit?
No.
Yeah, they'll set up you basically get out onto a course or something, and sometimes they'll use snowshoes or some sort of, boot apparatus or whatever, but you just get a colorful ball and whack it around on frozen snow. And it's just again, no one has any expectations.
That sounds like some dude just wanted to get away from his wife and kids and go drink outside.
Oh, for
That's
sure.
That's exactly what that was.
100% it's not made to be taken seriously. That's what I think is the appeal of it. And yes, it's the ability to just get out and go do something.
So using actual golf balls?
That's my understanding. I haven't looked too deep into it, but I've seen some videos come up on TikTok, and I think I want to look into this.
That's the thing I don't know about is if it's actual golf balls. I mean, you're going to lose so many of those as soon as it drops into the snow.
Brother, you're not going to use your fucking $7 a ball Titleist. Go get some bright yellow range balls.
But even if they're bright, they're just going to fall into the... You ever drop your keys into the snow and been like, where the fuck did it go? I feel like majority of your day is going to be... You're going to be even more mad at the end of it.
No, I think that's the thing, is again, your expectations are so low, and if you use cheap shit balls, then you're just like, I can't find it. Oh, well, crack a beer, drop another ball, carry on.
Yeah, I guess. I feel like you should use tennis balls. That would be the move.
Tennis balls, honestly, would be great. Although, have you ever tried to hit a tennis ball with a golf club?
No, actually,
I've never tried, and now you've got it in my head. Now I want to go home.
I feel like I could probably pipe a tennis ball.
I just want to put a tennis ball on a tee and fucking smash it with a driver.
Yeah.
That is going to live in my head until I get the opportunity to do so.
Because I feel like it would be kind of the mindset of when you're a kid and you play road hockey and you can shelf it, but then you can't do it with the puck. So.
Yeah, well, that's just it. I mean, you know me when it comes to hockey. I am an observer, but even back in the day, I used to be able to fucking smash a tennis ball.
Yeah. That
made me feel good, so maybe I'll try that. We should try that. When the snow finally falls, we should see if we can get onto a golf course with some tennis balls.
I'm kind of down for it, but then I kind of hate the idea at the same time. I'd rather just go drink somewhere. At that point.
That is the thing, though, right? Is because, for some reason, guys feel the need to invent a reason to go out and hang out.
Well, in actual golfing, it's a great excuse. It's you're getting a little bit of exercise, you're getting outside versus I don't know, man. If we're putting all the snowmobile gear on, we might as well just go snowmobiling.
Can I say this? I refute the idea that golf for the average person is good exercise. Because 9 times out of 10, you're getting a cart, you're eating hot dogs, and you're chugging beers.
To counterpoint you there.
Okay.
How many times have you gone golfing and then come in the next day and been like, oh my God, my body is so sore?
I am not. I am the least athletic person you know.
But there you go. It is technically exercise then, right?
I sneeze and I throw my back out. I am not. Most people don't come in sore.
But
after a lax game of golf.
Why are you sore? Because you're using muscles you haven't used before. Thus, it is technically exercise.
I don't use any of them. I have no muscles used. I have my thumbs. That's it when I'm playing video games.
But you can't deny that does mean it is technically exercise.
I guess, but I'm saying that if you're undoing any benefit of walking from the cart to the ball, hitting the ball, is all undone by the cart.
Why are you fucking up my spot, dude? Do you know how many guys' spot you're ruining right now? Where it's we have this great excuse and you're just fucking over all of the boys?
Because I'm tired of being told I need to golf more because it's good exercise. It's not good exercise. I'm coming out net more calories than I started
Just because you have a problem doesn't mean you got to make it everybody else's problem, dude. The fuck is your problem? Slow your roll over there,
There's
man.
nothing better than using science and logic to ruin someone's day.
I just feel like golf was made for people just to kind of like kill an afternoon. That obviously it's a sport, but I think the original fellas that went out there in Scotland or whatever it was, they were just dicking around. Like it makes no sense. Like on paper, if you wrote it out in like 1,000 years ago, and you'd be like, wait, what? How many times are we supposed to hit it till we get into the hole?
Right.
We're supposed to get it in that thing? It's like baseball. Like, on paper, if you describe baseball as like the gamiest game of all time.
Oh, the rules of baseball are absurd. And you know what's crazy is you have all of the rules of baseball, and then you have a whole nother fucking book of the unwritten rules of baseball about the things your etiquette or you're not supposed to do. And it's just like, I just want to hit a fucking ball.
Golf is an excuse to like get out and hang out with your friends. Being a baseball fan is an excuse to fall asleep on the couch and just like watch TV.
Dude, I've never understood the people who go to Major League Baseball games and fall asleep. I couldn't do it. Like, just stay home.
I mean, I get it. Like, some of them are snooze fest.
I get how you could get bored enough, but like, go home. Either you paid enough money to stay in that seat and stay awake, or you got that seat cheap enough, go home and have a real nap.
I think anyone can fall asleep anywhere. I mean, hell, me and Courtney went to the movies the other day, and I didn't know she passed out. We finished the movie, and I was like talking to her about it, and she just like gave me this blank look, and I'm like, what? And she's like, I fell asleep. And like, I was like, oh, that sucks. She was mad because she paid for the movie.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Which is the worst feeling. It's like $60 to go to the fucking movies nowadays.
So expensive now. I will say this, maybe unpopular opinion. Movie theaters are too fucking comfortable now. With all these recliners and leather seats, you're basically sitting on a couch. You walk in, you put your feet up, you put your head back in a dark room. Of course you're going to fall asleep.
I dig it, though, because there's sometimes it's like we paid the extra to go watch an IMAX movie like a month ago. I was pissed. You pay extra for the IMAX for what? Like louder sounds, but you can't stretch back and relax?
Do they not have
No, they had
fancy
the normal,
seats?
the peasant seats.
See, but again, did you pay attention the whole movie?
No, I wasn't as comfortable. I've been so used to like the comfy extender seats.
Your
like,
ass got spoiled. That's the problem.
Yeah, and I'm just like sitting there, and I'm like, oh, I got to put my feet up on the seat in front of me and everything. It's bullshit.
I don't know. Like, I'm okay if they want to keep the reclining seats and stuff like that, because the old like flip down seats did suck in movie theaters. I will admit that. But I'm saying they need to like knock a spring loose or something in every chair. There needs to be something slightly annoying or uncomfortable about every seat to keep you from falling asleep.
It is weird to think that there's a generation of kids growing up that aren't going to know what it's like to try and make out with a girl in the movie theaters and have the cup holder jam into your ribs. They don't know what they got, man. You're able to lift it up. Dude, I wonder how many people are having sex in the movie theaters, because it's like there's not a lot of people always going. Like, there's been a few movies me and Courtney have gone to in the past few months, and like nobody's in there.
Oh, absolutely.
You can lift up that armrest on those extender lay-back chairs. Yo, if I'm thinking about it right now,
It's happened.
somebody most definitely watched a movie and was like, this kind of sucks.
100%. It's definitely happening. You're right. You know, as long as you're not going to like big blockbuster movies on day one.
That might be exciting for some people.
Oh, God, could you? I wouldn't know what to do. If you were sitting in the same row or just behind two people that started getting like amorous in the seats and not just making out, like you said, they lift the armrest and they're moving around.
Yeah.
What's the protocol?
I mean,
if someone's talking during the movie, I have trouble shushing them. Never mind if two people start getting it on.
Yeah,
now what do I do?
I mean, you toss your popcorn back and be like, I needed more butter. Like, I think you make it awkward for them. Right. But like, there's the recliner seats, but then even some of those Cineplex ones, they've had it for years now, where they have like the beds where you lay down.
Oh, the like VIP seats.
You're just asking for it at that point. Like, you're basically like, you're encouraging it.
Yeah. I think you have to admit that like we understand there's a higher than normal probability that if we give you a bed, you're going to try and use it.
Kids aren't going to the drive-in anymore. I don't even know if those exist. They're just going to the VIP section there.
I feel like I missed drive-ins. Like, they obviously exist to this day, but I have never gone to a drive-in.
Oh, really?
I've never been in a place that had a drive-in.
I mean, you lived in a town of like 30 people, so.
In the territories, they just didn't have them. And then since then, it feels like every town I've moved to in my life, just had their drive-in theater closed. Like when I moved to Regina, everyone was lamenting the loss of some drive-in theater around there. I moved to Ontario, same thing, and it's just like, I may never go to a drive-in.
The drive-in was sick as a kid. My parents used to do the thing. There was one in like Oakville, and they'd always put us in the back seat, and they'd throw the blankets over us so they didn't have to pay for us. That was always the move.
Smuggle you in.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. And I mean, you make like a whole night of it. You sneak your own snacks in, whatever. It's pretty cool. Other than there's always like 2 or 3 cars that's battery died like halfway through the movie.
Sure, yeah.
And then they're trying to get jump starts from people. That sucks.
Wait, do you have to sneak snacks into the drive-in?
Yeah, you're technically not supposed to bring your own snacks.
Isn't that the whole point?
There's a concession stand there. So.
I get that there's a concession in case I didn't bring any, but like, if I was going to the drive-in for the first time, I'd have a big sack of treats right on the front seat, I would assume.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like the unwritten rule, you know what I mean? Like, you kind of hide it. It's like prom. They all know that everybody's drinking, but as long as they don't see the booze.
They have to tell you you're not allowed to for liability purposes. And then they look the other way when you do the thing. Okay, well,
But yeah, the drive-in was a pretty big thing. Like, I mean, in high school, like, I took some girls to the drive-in.
Yeah.
Fogged up the mirrors.
I was going to say, you didn't watch a movie, did you?
Iron Man 3.
You know what? To be fair, not a movie worth watching. You did not miss anything.
One of the most, and I'm getting personal here, one of the most terrifying sexual encounters of my entire life was doing it at the drive-in.
Terrified? Like, just because of the people around?
Everyone around you.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden you realize, you're like, oh, it's like the movies. The windows do fog up. Like, this is quite obvious.
People are catching on to what's going on.
My dad's Chevy Colorado is just rocking.
Maybe they thought you were just a really big Robert Downey Jr. fan.
Sex in a car is horrible, by the way. Can we address that? Like, that is one of the worst places to do it. Every movie led me to believe that this was going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And you're just like cramping up, and then it's like, I mean, you want to talk about armrests digging in places they shouldn't be.
Absolutely.
Like, holy fuck.
And the back seat is not as big as people make it out to be in those movies, in those TV shows. Like, I don't know. I guess I am coming from it of a 6'3" person who's always been of a fair size.
I'll come from a different angle, from a guy who was 5'6" in high school.
There's no room back there.
It wasn't any better.
What are we fucking doing?
It wasn't any better.
There has to be a better way to fool around discreetly.
It is like Charlie Horse Central back there.
And like, best case scenario, you're what? Kicking up on the doors or mashing on the windows. You're both cramped in there. Like, no one's having fun. And then, like you said, you have the terrifying knowledge that you are moments away from someone walking over and being like, hey, is everything okay in there?
Yeah.
And now what do we do?
Well, the worst part is like, my dad never said anything, but he was like, there's handprints in the back. He's like, why are there handprints in the back window? And I was like, I don't know,
Dad,
man.
you know.
I don't know.
That's what you have to put it on.
A few of the fellas were driving around. We were having a hoot of a time. You know how it goes.
I feel like parents do that shit to try and like put you in an awkward position of like, why are there handprints in the back seat of my car? You fucking know where those handprints came from. There's like 2 possible reasons and they're both bad.
I was making a kid to make more handprints on the back. That's it. So what was the last line? It was something about the handprints or whatever.
You say you were making a baby so you could get more handprints.
Yeah. You know, the craziest thing about that is I wasn't even the first person to have sex in my dad's truck.
Well, I would hope that he beat you to it.
No, he most definitely didn't. Like, the way my parents' marriage was going, there's most definitely no fun of that happening.
The truck was not at risk at that point?
No, I remember in like grade 11, I was hanging out with some fellas. I won't name drop here.
Sure.
But one of my buddies was like, hey, these gals want to go hang out. Go pick them up. I was like, all right, whatever. So we drive to outside of town, and you know, we're hanging out and stuff. And I'm out on to the tailgate with one girl, and this guy, he was dating this girl at the time. But they've been on and off again or whatever.
So they were currently on. At
so
this
they were
point.
they were kind of bickering.
Oh,
so we
okay.
left them in the truck to kind of like figure it out.
Oh no,
bro! I sat on my dad's tailgate, start feeling the truck start rocking.
You're sitting on the truck and they just start going for it?
Oh yeah, dude. And I remember being like, yo, and I was mad, but I was also like, this is my boy. Like,
you don't want to get in the way. I don't know, man.
I had to drive back to town after that, and then we just dropped these girls off at the house, and it was like, dude, the biggest buzzkill of all time. And then the next day, I remember like checking the back seat, and then like there was underwear back there, and like that would. I'm so glad my dad didn't find it because it would have been tougher to explain. Of like, he's like, "What's this?" and been like, wasn't even me, Dad.
It's not even my underwear, man.
And as a parent, that would be way worse.
Absolutely. 100% that would be way worse.
I've also never told my dad that story before.
Does your dad listen to the podcast?
I don't know. We'll find out, I
What's up,
guess.
Rick?
But yeah, that sucked so bad, man, to just like go home and be like, I just supplied someone's booty call. Like,
Am I a prude in thinking that that's fucking insane to be like, you and your significant other are in someone else's vehicle and they are within literal spitting distance?
I don't know, man. You're a horny boy at that age. I took it as I understood it. Like, I was mad that it wasn't me, but I understood it because it's like when you're a teenager, you're like, maybe it's never going to happen, right? Or any sort of chance that you get, you're like, I don't know.
I can't miss my moment. Can't miss my shot.
Yeah.
I don't know though. Like, I just feel like I would be in the moment if things were happening, they're getting amorous. I feel like even at that age, I would be like, let's go somewhere. Let's get.
You don't want to be a blocker, though.
My friend's dad's truck that he's still sitting on.
Yeah, when you're a young man, though, you've got two minds, you know? Two heads, rather. So.
Right, and one of them's not working in that situation.
And then I will say, though, if you had to do a ranking system of it, the car, like I said, has to be one of the worst places that you can have sex.
I honestly, and I've never done either, but I have to assume that it's right up there with airplane bathroom.
Airplane bathroom, yeah, that's a tight spot. I can't, and I wonder what the stats are on people that actually do it versus say that they did it.
True.
But I would go showers next. The shower is like another one that like it comes off so romantic in so many movies. Meanwhile, it's like, how do I get my leg up here? Like, you're trying not to slip. If you don't have one of those non-slip like bath mats,
you're fighting for your life out
here. You're screwed.
You are fighting for your life to try and maintain. Plus, there's the water is like, maybe you're being fucking drowned at the moment, or you're outside of it and you're just cold. You're just freezing.
What a weird way to find out you're into waterboarding. Like. But you're right on the freezing thing because it's like there's one person that's in the water.
Right.
There's one person that's out of it.
It's actually worse because you're not all the way out of it. You're on the periphery. You're getting like the spray, the splash, the surf. So you're just damp enough to be cold.
Yeah.
That's it.
And, I mean, in general, can we address this? Showering as a couple isn't as hot as the movies make it either. I mean, like, take sex out of the equation.
Yeah.
Just take showering with. I mean, like, when you first start dating, everything's romantic,
sure.
Right?
Yeah.
You can get in the shower. You're like, oh, I'll lather you up. I'll wash you. You wash me.
The filter comes off real quick after you've been together for a while.
Let's snuggle. The next thing you know, you're both peeing in the shower together, and you're like, oh, what the fuck?
Listen, how about just get the fuck out of the shower? Give me 5 minutes to do my shit. Then you can come here and do your shit. Then we'll be clean and we can do other shit.
Yeah. Unless you have one of those big ass like MTV crib showers with the top one that drops down over you.
Oh, the raindrop showers?
Yeah.
Even then, man, because if you're not right dead center in that thing, then there's a good chunk of you that's exposed and freezing.
Yeah.
I have seen that there is a product you can buy. It hooks on to where your shower head goes, and then it stretches to the back of the shower and basically turns your one shower head into two. One from each angle.
Oh.
And the idea is that now you're both in the shower. But again, it just feels like now you have to stand at opposite sides of your tub. So maybe just shower one at a time.
It's kind of like prison shower style. You know what I mean? Like locker room kind of shower style.
Now that's romance, brother.
I mean, I don't know if it's romance, but sex most definitely happens there. Whether it's consensual or not, we'll leave up to the imagination.
Yeah, there's probably more sex happening at those showers than the average residential shower.
I would like to have, like, if I was rich enough, a locker room shower would be dope to have.
Think so?
Yeah. Oh, imagine being hungover in that thing.
And just standing in there.
You put all the showers on and you just sit there in the steam.
All this is you yearning to hotbox. That's all you're doing right now.
No, dude, hangover showers. Like, if you haven't done it before, where you just sit in the bathtub and let all the water drape over you.
I don't need a fucking locker room shower to do that. I go lay in my tub and let the water pour over me and think about all the things I've done wrong in my life like a regular person.
But if you had, like, I mean, I guess not even locker room style. If you have a big enough stand-in shower and you got the tile where it's like you can feel the coldness of the tile on the ground, you feel the hot water coming over you, have it steaming up in there, that is the best way to cure a hangover.
Brother, are you going through it right now? Do you need to talk?
No, man, I just have fun, dude. Wait, you don't have fun anymore? We don't have fun anymore?
To be fair, you're also a shower beer guy. So did the hangover start or end in the shower?
No,
or both?
It's nice, especially the shower bath thing. Like, if you haven't tried it, I'm serious. Just sit there. You can watch your belly button fill up and everything. Watch your wiener sit there like a little fishing bobber. It just... and then you got a beer and stuff to boot. Like, it's awesome.
Your water bill must be fucking astronomical. This is all I'm learning. Years we've been friends. I'm learning so much today.
If you probably looked at specifically on Sundays, there'd be like a tick up in the water bill for sure on Sundays.
That's what do they call it? Those are peak hours. They'll charge you for those shower hours.
Yeah. That's my hangover remedy, man. It's just get in the shower, sit there until I feel like I don't want to die anymore, and then go get some food.
I will be honest, I haven't had a hangover in about a year. And it's been really nice. Now, to get that...
It's because you haven't came out to play in a while.
I haven't been drinking in about a year. So that's sort of the trade-off. But I'm telling you, over here in the sober light of day, things aren't so bad.
They're getting worse for me. Like, everyone always said, like, as you're veering, like, 30, it starts hitting you harder. And, I feel like the past year and a half, it's like, depending on what I drink, like, beers, I'm always good. But, like, the second I start mixing, like, any other booze in there... Yeah.
Just wait, because eventually you'll get to a point, for me, I think it was about mid-30s, where you'll have, like, 2 beers with dinner. Like, you'll go out and have 2 beers with dinner, and you'll wake up the next morning and be like, my fucking head.
Yeah.
And that's when it's going to hit you. The hangover doesn't hurt nearly as much as the realization of... Oh no, I'm old.
I do like hangover days. Like, they suck, but I do like the idea that as long as you've got nothing going on,
sure.
The idea of, like, watching the TV and that in and out of sleep kind of thing.
You're having a sloth day.
You maybe don't
sucks.
even, like, eat until, like, whatever noon, and then you just, like, gorge yourself with some Taco Bell, whatever it is. And it's like you feel even worse.
Your body has been punished all day, so you're like, what can I do to make it worse?
And then finally at like 8 o'clock at night, you start to feel like yourself again.
You crawl out of the wreckage of your own body.
Yeah.
And you start to feel better.
Oh, that is the best, is when you finally make it through the hangover. And you're like, there is light at the end of the tunnel.
I love that you subscribe to basically a theory of, I can only understand how good I feel by knowing what bad feels like.
Well, I know you didn't grow up religious or anything, but I did. And you know, Jesus spent 40 days and nights in the desert by himself. And I like to think that if he could fight through that, I can fight through this hangover, no problem.
You can fight through some fireball from the night
I've never been
before.
more religious than when I am hungover.
That's true.
When I'm hungover or when I'm sick, all of a sudden I turn into like a cardinal or something, and I'm like, please, Lord.
I don't know what it is, but there's something about that porcelain bowl that really brings out the Lord in me.
It's like hangovers, being sick, and sports make everybody religious out of nowhere.
Are you a pray for your team kind of guy?
Dude, God must, like, if our prayers were like a phone, he must like get the like... been a minute since they reached out. Like, you know when you go on Facebook and all of a sudden you see someone message you and you're like, what the fuck do they want? Like, if there is a God, that's probably how he feels when he's like, are you really asking me for that right now?
No, if there is a God and he deals with sports prayers, what he's doing is he's looking at his phone going, another fucking Leafs fan. Enough.
Yeah. I mean, he's the one making the lines, so that's why he doesn't respond most of the time anyway.
Well, I hope that as people are listening to this, it's Friday. When's the game? Friday night, Saturday?
It's, tomorrow, I guess, if this is Friday right now.
Yeah, so I hope that goes well for you, and then I hope you make your way back across the border and we can get back to work.
Watch the game day kickoff thing. Maybe you'll see me and my buddies there just absolutely tanked.
Are you face painting? Do you know yet, or is this still a game time
I don't
decision?
know. See what the fellas want to do, but it's going to be interesting because we got the football game, and then we're trying to see if we can make it to the Blue Jackets game at night. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So if you do face paint, you need something that can wash off quick because those are different colors.
It sucks because there's only 3 of us. I was going to say we could have went tarps off and done the OHIO, but... Now we're just like, oh, hi.
Well, is one of your friends fat?
Me? I guess I'm the one with the biggest gut out
all right,
of all
well,
of us.
I hate to tell you, brother, but you're the OH, and then your friends are the I and the O.
Bro, I don't even feel that confident taking my shirt off thinking about it now.
Man, I wish I had a 10th of that level of confidence.
There's dedication. Like, Courtney's friend dated a guy in Regina that would go to every Rough Riders game out there.
Okay.
Tarps off, no shirt, doesn't matter the weather.
Sure.
And we've seen this guy come up on TV before, and I mean, it gets like minus 40 out there.
Yeah, man.
I mean, you look at like people like that, or those Chiefs fans. Was it last year when there was that freezing cold game?
Oh, yeah.
There was people that lost fingers and like limbs.
Literally stories coming out of people who braved the elements and ended up having to get like stuff cut off.
Which ends up being, I don't know if I'd say a cool story, but I mean, at least you've got a story where you're like, hey, they ended up making it to the Super Bowl. If they lose that game,
then it's embarrassing.
You look like way more of an idiot than you already do.
I don't know. You're right. There is a spectrum to how stupid you can look.
Yeah.
But it's like, this is right up there with, how did you lose your hand? Oh, I set off fireworks on the 4th of July.
Yeah.
It's like, you're an idiot. Oh, my God.
I mean, at least with the fireworks, you could be like, I was doing something for the kids. Like, you know, like, you could make some, hear me out. You could make some sort of an excuse, at least, with the fireworks, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're like, hey, I work for the city, whatever.
Right.
But if you're just like, man, I'm die hard, ride or die for my Chiefs. Like, I'm willing to lose my pinky. Like, that sounds like you can't make up a good story for that. Like, I had to be there for my boys.
Let me ask you this question, and then we'll wrap up today's podcast. Is there any part of your body you would sacrifice for a Leaf Stanley Cup?
I mean, like, pinky toe? I feel like you don't need pinky toe.
That's it? You're not getting a Stanley Cup for a pinky toe. Come on.
Both pinky toes.
Both.
Two is better than one.
Old 8 toes over here.
Yeah. I feel like yeah, I'd lose some toes. Yeah.
How many? What's your maximum amount of toes you're willing to lose?
I mean, I feel like you need the big one, like, right?
Right.
So let's go pinky toe and the one beside it. Let's take off 4 toes, both of those on each. And I feel like you might have some problems walking, might not really be able to run again. But if that was the body part, that's what I'd sacrifice.
Do you think the Leafs would give you a ring? Like, say we live in a world with this hypothetical scenario where it is scientifically proven that you cut off 4 toes or a doctor cuts them off for you, the Leafs guaranteed win the Stanley Cup.
Probably not, but if they did, it better not be a fucking toe ring. Like, that would just be cruel, man.
I would honestly love to see athletes wearing championship toe rings.
It's like the equivalent of, like, seeing, like, Joe Biden shake some, like, war veteran's, like, missing arm. You ever see those?
I mean, those are bad. Nothing will ever beat Ryan Seacrest trying to shake hands with a blind person.
Yeah.
That was the worst one.
Yeah.
They always make me laugh.
I feel like, 4 toes for a Stanley Cup. I feel like that's a good trade-off, you know?
All right, well, I'll go get some tequila and a hacksaw, and we'll see how the season turns out.
Yeah. All right, y'all have a good rest of the, I guess, weekend. We'll be back on Tuesday live with an actual show for you guys. But other than that, y'all keep it sexy.
Bye, everybody.
For more Brock and Dalby, tune in weekday mornings 5:30 to 9.
The Brock and Dalby podcast is brought to you by badshop.ca, the Brock and Dalby merch store. With all proceeds going to the Canadian Cancer Society.